Welcome back, my DIY nomads. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing really well. We are going to be looking at doing another Luton video, which is really cool. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw in a few random clips that I captured while Ben was working on the Luton over the last few weeks or whatever. They'll be thrown in, and then we're going to crack on with fitting a Truma. Ben's gone for the 4E. So the gas version, I put in the D6E. The E, if you don't know, stands for electric. Or you can do combi, so the E allows you to do a mix of either fuel and electric, or just electric, which is really cool. Anyway, we're going to get on to that. Very exciting. What I wanted to just quickly address was the last video, the Jackery video. There was a little bit of controversy on there, nothing bad. But I just thought I would voice my opinion. That wasn't a bought out video. I got something free, so I had to do a positive review. If it was crap, I would have said. I would have 100% told you if it was crap. I still stand by the video. I couldn't include all the information because the solar panel they were sending out to me as well didn't arrive. I would have loved to have done a bit more of an in-depth video, but that didn't arrive in time. But no worries. Now, something that was proposed to me was to actually test running the fridge for a weekend, but a real world test, a test where the fridge actually had food in it, and it was more like a real life world situation. So what I did was, instead of it being in here, where on the day we did all of that stuff for the video, it was about 15 degrees, I took the fridge home, I took the Jackery home, I put a bunch of random stuff in it, even put some ice in the top, some ice trays in the top, and then I put the Jackery on top. I charged up the Jackery to full, and at the same time I also got the fridge running while it was charging. The reason I did this was because in a real world situation, if you drove to a campsite, you would have that Jackery on charge even if it was powering something in the background, whatever it was, if it was this fridge or not. You'd have it powering it while the Jackery is also being given supply. And then when you get there, you obviously turn off your engine, you lose supply, but you know your fridge would be cold. So I did it like that. And we started the test that evening, I think it was the Wednesday. And we started it at 5. That's when I cut power to the Jackery. It was 100%. The fridge was cooled. It done its first cooling cycle, should I say. And it had stuff in it. We got all the way through to Friday morning, which was 39 hours and 20 minutes, pretty much 20 minutes bang on the nose later. The Jackery finally gave up, and it was mental because I learnt a lot about this fridge, actually, quite a lot, funny enough. It was so unbelievably close to finishing a cooling cycle, and between each cooling cycle is about an hour and 15 minutes. So in theory it would have lasted another hour and 15 minutes, which I think is insane. That tiny Jackery box managed to power that 65 litre fridge for 39 hours and 20 minutes in my house, where the thermostat is set to about 21, 22 degrees. I know that where the fridge was, it probably wouldn't be 21, 22. It would probably be more like maybe 18 or 19. I'm not 100% sure, but we were in the house where the thermostat was set to 21, 22. So just as a rough guide. So yeah, I had it on setting 2, and I checked everything at the end, and the ice cubes were still ice. Everything was still really cool. So I'll show you a couple of time-stamped photos from that, and then we're going to crack on with the rest of the Luton video and fit this Truma. But yeah, I think that's really impressive from the Jackery box. This isn't a paid advertisement. This is totally outside of their paid advertisement thing. So this is just something I wanted to put out there. Welcome back, my DIY nomads. How are you guys doing today? We are in the Luton, as you can see, and you can see these racing stripes makes the van faster. No, these are the slats that Ben's going to put on the roof, and he's doing it out of 6mm birch and just stapling it to the, pinning it, to the roof. It's going to look really, really cool. So I'm going to try, because I'm trying to do some stuff in the van. I'm like dual filming, so I'm like trying to like keep it all under control and keep it organised. So I'm going to be running to my van, running to his van. But yeah, we've got all of this trim now. Ben's been adding all of this very nice looking trim around, and then the lights are under here. I don't know what accent this is. And like over here where it's getting a bit dark, sorry, there's a bit in front of the old toilet area here. Oh, it's gonna look fantabby-dozy. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention we're gluing and pinning, because obviously it's in a van and all the vibrations would probably make the slats fall out over time. Do you want me to give me a spacer and I'll... Oh! Sorry. Yoink. Just like that, 3 racing stripes, and the van is now 3 times faster than it previously was. One thing I just wanted to clear up on Ben's van as well is a lot of people ask about the weight and whether this van's going to get like too heavy. Well, we've actually removed the what's it, the rear jack thing, the rear lift, the tailgate, the hydraulic tailgate thing off the back. You removed all of that and all this like extra bits and bobs. So we've actually got a lot of weight now to play with off of getting rid of that. But we are going to weigh it at the end, so don't worry, we'll let you know if this thing exceeds 3.5 tons or not. Let's take the quick step over to Ben's. Whoop! Here we go. So, hi Ben.
Hi.
Hi. So as before, not a huge amount has changed on this side. We've got the electrics in as before. We're waiting for the electrician to come back and do the final fix up. Showers change a little bit. We've obviously got the shower stuff. This is all dry fit up. We haven't even put the ends in all of this push fit piping, so it's just there to measure up and test. But we've got the whole, this is all where the water tank's going to be, and then the pipes are going around the back there. And Ben's just putting all this pipe work ready. We've got like the cold coming in, going up and going straight into the shower mixer, and then also teeing off and going around here to get over to here to where the Truma will be. And then we've got the second pipe for the hot water to return and go to like the sink and all that sort of stuff, and then all the way back to the shower. On top of that, we've also got what I showed you before, that tanking membrane, and that's basically the stuff we're putting in before we sort of like do anything on top of here to like waterproof it and seal it in. Is the toilet on the runners yet? Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this. So this is going to be Ben's composting toilet. So it's going to be like he's going to come up with a clever design so that the water doesn't get in there, but then you can also just ride it out on draw runners, and then you open it up, and don't worry, there will be an actual seat there. I don't know why I'm talking Irish. But then yeah, you can like lift that up, there'll be a little toilet seat in there, stow it away. Pretty cool. He's just built this, he hasn't actually fitted it in yet, but these are going to be the steps. So step, then this is like one of the kitchen units, which is also the bin, and then another step's going to sort of go across there. So this whole top area is going to be like another step before we get over to this corner, which will be like more like just the kitchen. And in case you're wondering what this rando box is, it's a little tight shot here, but it's the sneaky little gas locker that Ben's added, which is pretty cool. Cut this out, used the aluminium skin from the outside of the van to do the outside bit, used Tricoya because it lasts for 50 years outside without being treated. And so yeah, this is the preliminary stages of the gas locker. We've got it all measured up, ready to take. It needs a lot more work obviously, but this is just like a preliminary thing, just so we can get the stairs inside measured up properly. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Right, this is where the Truma's going. Ben's kitchen will extend all the way up to the seats there. So like slotting under here, go up to the bench seat there, and we're going to house it just about here. Right here we've got these 2 pipes going to be for the tap. These 2 pipes over here. Oh, can you even see them? Here they are. These are going to be for the Truma. What's so great about the Luton is because we have flat walls here and really easy to navigate flooring about, you know, what's underneath there and drilling through. This is going to be a much easier install than on the Boxer, and the Boxer wasn't too bad. The gas line isn't here obviously, but Ben's going to lead it similarly like the water supply up around the doorway entrance and then down through the back here and to this point here. Now, funnily enough, one of the actual negatives about the Trumas and the most annoying things is that there's 4 heating outlets on the back and you have to use all 4. You can't like plug one or join 2 of them together into one pipe. You have to have 4 outlets going around the van, and they can't be closed off at the other end as well. So, funnily enough, one of the trickier things is laying out the pipe and finding out where you want it to go. It would be more useful for Ben if he had like 2 or 3 outlets, but because we've got the 4, we're going to have to lead a bunch of pipes in random places. We were playing with the idea of having one come out near the bed, but we were thinking that as all the heat rises in here, the bed will just become so hot up there, especially if there's another vent. So we're going to try and push the heat to the harder to reach places and probably the cooler places, and then let it spread around the room. Hole is in the side of the Luton. I've also made sure, so if I was to sit level, I've made sure that the hole goes straight in but then curves up, because that's what the actual wall cow does. So I've had to go in and then grind upwards a little bit. I'm guessing that's to account for any water that gets in the vent so that it comes down and just drips out. And what I've also done is, one of the specifications says if it goes through a cavity wall it must be surrounded by timber. Well, what I've done is there's this timber here and here. I've ground back all of the foam to a distance of 10 mil, so that should be good to go. Everyone, I just thought I would show this outside of Luton because I couldn't get a camera to show me installing this bit of exhaust. Try to make sure that all the pipes are seated all the way to their end points and screwed on and tied up tightly. Alright, so a little bit of time's passed. I didn't show this bit because it only applies to this van because of the way it's set up, but we have this unit now with all the pipes, you know, like got the exhaust in and out, we've got all the hot air pipes ready. This is where one of the outlets is going to be. These are the other 3 that are going off to other bits of the van. They're all clipped on the floor, it looks all very lovely. And then we've got the cold line coming down, going through this valve here, which is the drain valve. Some people you can actually get the electronic drain valve, so you can like basically put it in a corner, give it a bit of power feed off of the Truma, and it will drain the Truma automatically if it detects any sort of cold temperatures. But you use this if it's for frost protection. So if it's going to drop below like I think it's like 1 or 0 in the van, you need to drain the Truma, otherwise frost might cause damage. Then we've got the other pipe, which is for the hot water, and both of these are now drilled and they go through the floor of the van to the outside. We've obviously got the exhaust mounting that goes to the outside. So now really, as far as we can go with the Luton on the Truma today is to put the Truma in place, screw it down, feed all these pipes and get it connected up really. Right, so we've got the plumbing in place and a few things tied down, which is good. All the pipes are not going to rub on anything and are far enough away from edges that they're safe, and with vibration they're not going to move around. Only thing I haven't done, like I did on my diesel, is put a non-return valve on the cold line yet, but I'm going to do it on the 15mm pipe that's going down here, because the 15mm non-return valve, or a double check valve, is cheaper and easier to fit, so instead of trying to squeeze it in here, which is harder to get to, I'm just going to whack it on this line, which will be cheaper, easier and better. Well everyone, we're pretty much there. We've got the pipes ready to go and be plugged into different ports. Got all of the plumbing on the water side all fitted up. Still haven't fit the non-return valve, but we're in no rush because there's still so much that we need to get done before we can actually finish the install. The electrician still hasn't been back to finish that up, so we can't even get it powered up. We've left enough space down here in the bottom to have a 240-volt hookup installed down here, so Ben can have hookup that will go off and power his system, but then also power this, so he can run the Truma just off fully electric and not use up his gas. There might be a chance we put all the 240-volt stuff down there and just leave a cable, but we left the space just in case. I've also connected up all the ducts, and I know what you're going to say. With the 4 ducts on the back, the 2 top ones should go the furthest distance because they're the hotter ones, and the 2 lower ones should go the shortest distance. But I am really chuffed with the install. It looks really tidy and neat. Everything's very easily accessible. I also connected up a couple of the cable points, so we've got the temperature sensor here. Great thing about the temperature sensor is it doesn't really matter about the polarity. Well, it doesn't matter about the polarity, so you can plug the cable in any which way and connect the temperature sensor on the other end without worrying about it. This Ethernet cable just goes off to your control panel. We haven't got any power here yet, so that doesn't even matter. Couple of extra tips: if you are doing the cables, there's some tie down points on the back here for zip ties, so get your cables, get them over to there, zip tie it so that the tension's taken off the terminal ends, and then also have a droop in the cables. So if you're running the cable back up the wall, make sure it droops down and then goes up the wall. In case condensation forms on the cable, it can get to that lower point and just drip onto the floor and not drip into the circuitry. And then these are the 2 pipes that come out the bottom. This one, which we had to change over from the short one that's already provided, is the drain valve, and this one is off of the hot water three-way connector, and all we're going to do is find a good place to mount these, and when we've finally chosen the mounting point, I need to cut a 45 in them. So that's the front of the van, so that's direction of travel. So if you think about all the dirt that's going to be flying this way, we've got to cut a 45 degree like that, so the front tip edge stops the dirt getting up and inside the tube, and keeps them unblocked. Absolute madness how much easier that was to fit than my my Truma in my van, just because of the space, and with the Luton it's like a wooden floor and it's quite easy to gauge where the beams are, so much easier to drill a hole through, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, really chuffed with the result. We managed to start at like 10 this morning and it's about 2, so we a lot of the way there in like 4 hours, which is epic. Gas line to be done, get a power cable to it. Yeah, awesome. This isn't meant to be like a proper in-depth guide. I'd like to just state that this is the first time I've fitted a Truma 40. I mean, I fitted the diesel one, but this is the first time I fitted a Truma 40. Could you guys let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a custom electrics kit that I've made for someone? I got requested to make one. We used like lots of really nice high-end parts, like a lead carbon battery, Victron parts. The kit was in total all done to the customer around 1,800 quid, which is, I know, a lot of money, but it's a pretty comprehensive system and it's pretty awesome. But I've built it all so that it's very modular for the customer to put in. Let me know if you'd like to see that. Otherwise, I'll just put up a few photos on Instagram. And yeah, I'll catch all you DIY nomads next time.